our new kids, I thought it would be kind of fun if we had one of our students kind of show us how not to act in the virtual classroom. And then everybody else in the class, I want you to be supportive and I want you to help the student who is acting inappropriately act the way they should. You can either send them a message and maybe send it in the chat to everybody so that I can see the message too. Um, or you can just, give them a heads up. So, are we ready for our little fun role play? Oh, you guys are so quiet. My 9:30 group is so loud and you guys are quiet. All right, we are ready, Jaden. So let's just pretend that we have begun. All right, welcome everyone. Okay, Jaden, we're waiting on you. So today we're going to be looking at our world-class outcomes and especially going through this very first one, forming an idea by exploring various sources that will help us make healthy decisions. Um, all right, all right, Jaden, you got to be a little funnier than that. Okay, so we're pretending that I'm going all along here. We're going to be reading one source on influenza and how to make healthy decisions. Oh my goodness. Jaden's embarrassed. That's pretty funny. All right. I should have probably warned him ahead of time. I was going to have Jaden basically break all of our rules and then have you guys kind of step in and bring him back in. But that's okay. Maybe he'll get inspired sometime throughout our virtual classroom and we can do it then. But just remember to come prepared. So like, for this week, you were supposed to read the rest of the book and you had a couple charts to fill out. And then here's a big one. Being in a quiet room by yourself is usually a really good idea so that there's no background noise. And then keeping the chat on topic and then also keeping your webcam on topic. So that was kind of what I was trying to get Jaden to do, is turn on his webcam and act really goofy. If you do turn on your webcam, that's completely fine. Really the purpose of having your webcam on is to raise your hand to answer instead of using the chat feature. So, all right, now the cat's into it. Now he's walking across my keyboard. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Last week, we previewed a text and we did a little bit of it together called influenza. And this is a big tie-in to our overall health unit that we're completing. All right, so I'm going to bring up your book. For today, you were supposed to finish reading the book. We had a knowledge survey and we did part of it before we read the book, and we'll do the second half after you read the book, so we'll do that today. And then we have a main idea chart. Yeah, see, somebody's singing, so that's a little distractive. Does anybody want to maybe mention a better way to handle that situation? Okay, there's Jaden. Now he's acting goofy for us. All right. All right, my sixth and fifth graders, you guys are not, well, and actually I have a couple of fourth graders in here too. What I was hoping you would say is, hey, Jaden, that's kind of distracting when you turn on your webcam and act goofy. Maybe you can turn it off for now. Or, hey, Jaden, if you feel like you have some background noise or you feel like you want to sing, maybe you can turn your microphone on mute. Anyway, so I won't spend too much time on that. I think you guys get the point. All right, so let's just flip back through this book. And I know, a couple of our new kids might not have seen it yet. So just hang with us and you'll get the point. right. We talked about the table of contents. Do you guys remember how important the table of contents is and what it's good for? Go ahead and speak up, anybody.
Yes.
Okay, go for it. Good. Clara typed into the chat that you can.
I thought
Okay, you could find information easily, and we had talked about that. That perhaps you just wanted a detail about how you recover from the flu. So just by looking at the table of contents, you know exactly what chapter you would flip to. You don't have to reread the entire book. Um, yes, Tyler V, today is quiet, so I'm hoping some of you will start to speak up. You guys are so opposite from my 9:30 group, who I cannot get to be quiet ever. So anyway, and go ahead, Charlie. Did you have something to tell us about the table of contents and how it can be useful? I think your microphone is muted, by the way. That's what the picture is showing.
oops.
There we go.
I was just saying that the table of contents can be good because you're seeing what you're gonna learn, what
Absolutely.
you're about to see, and what page it's on and stuff.
Exactly. So it helps you connect to that prior knowledge of things that you already know from your life. And as you're going to see today, it can help you when you write summaries. I love table of contents. It really helps break up information well. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much more time flipping through everything like I did with the other sometimes younger kids. I'm going to jump right into that knowledge survey and looking at how maybe your answers might have changed from before you read the book to after reading the book. Okay, so in the chat, I want you to type either a yes or no, and then we could talk about at the end if your answers changed to any of these after you read the book. Okay, so first one, type yes or no. A virus causes the flu. Good. Coughing sends germs into the air. Yeah, those first two were pretty easy. Humans can get the flu, but other animals cannot. Good. Good, good, good. Correct answers all around. Our immune systems have antibodies that attack and destroy viruses. Good. And I like how you said I don't know, and that's fine because you haven't read the book yet, so it's totally fine. Keeping your fingers out of your mouth helps you stay healthy. That's pretty obvious. Vaccines keep the flu virus from taking over your body. Good. Ooh, I got a couple yeses and nos on that one, so we'll talk about that one for sure. People who are very old are at the same risk of getting sick as everyone else. Oh, couple answers that are different there as well. Okay. The Spanish flu killed over 20 million people worldwide. Yes, it did. And we were actually able to figure that out just by kind of looking at that picture that was in the book. All right. So let's talk about this one. Vaccines keep the flu virus from taking over your body. The correct answer to that would be yes. That would be the only purpose that we would ever get a vaccine is to prevent a disease. What the vaccine is it's a really small dose of the flu, basically. And what they do is they put it into your body, and then your body gets used to it and fights it off. Go ahead, Jaden.
I thought it was no because it just prevents things,
Oh,
viruses from getting into your body.
oh, yeah, they probably should have reworded that in a different way. They probably should have said vaccines prevent the flu virus from taking over your body. That might have sounded better. And then there were a couple different answers on this one. People who are very old are at the same risk of getting sick as everyone else. That is false or a no. Remember, old people, and I can show you the chart again. Old people have a lowered immune system. As you get really like over 65 years old, your body just kind of doesn't work as well. There's really no nice way to put it. Where is that chart? Hold on. No, I'm not finding it. But I know it was in here. Basically, your body just doesn't fight things off as well. Other people who are at risk are babies, definitely, because babies do not have a very developed immune system yet because they're brand new and they're just starting to develop an immune system. Pregnant women are also at risk because their bodies are working so hard doing other things that sometimes their immune systems aren't as strong. So I have no, oh, it must have been in the other version of the book. Sorry, guys. For the younger kids, there's a different version of this book. Um, and it had a nice chart in it, but that's okay. We don't need that. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, and hopefully some of you have already done this, is we're going to go through each section and pull out only important details. And when we do that, it's going to help us write a summary at the end. Okay? All right. Did anybody do this ahead of time? I hope.
I did.
Yay. Perfect. Okay. Well, then I should get lots of people volunteering information. Woohoo. All right. So I'm going to make, oh, there goes Jaden again. Oh. All right.
No, I was actually saying how like I'm sick, so I was just doing like a
Oh,
Pac-Man thing because don't white blood cells eat viruses? Don't white blood cells eat viruses?
yes, they do. White blood cells really, well, they don't eat viruses, but what they do is they release antibodies, and those antibodies attack the infected cells and basically kill the infected cells. Okay? All right. So, what is the flu? Who would like to give me an important detail from that very first section of the book? Remember how it was broken up into different chapters? This was chapter 1. Okay, go ahead, Jaden.
The flu is a virus. It takes over your body. This is hard. I cannot think of what is the flu.
No, that's perfect, and that's exactly what Corbin had typed into the chat as well. And then Patrick just typed in the flu is a virus that I'm going to add to it that spreads.
It multiplies. It
Very good.
multiplies.
Yeah. It. How about we say mutates because the flu virus mutates every year. That's why you don't get the same vaccine twice because it slightly changes. And last year's vaccine won't help you against this year's flu. Okay. So let me just type that. Flu mutates. And then Sienna just typed into the chat protein shell. Those are probably like the actual shape of it and the fact that it's microscopic and like really, really, you can't see it with your naked eye. You have to use a microscope. I don't know if those are necessarily details that I would include in a summary, but we'll leave them for now. Okay, we're going to move on to changing viruses. Who can give me an important detail from the chapter called Changing Viruses? Ooh, I hear some people typing away. I actually see one detail that I'm going to move. I'm going to move that detail from that first column into this one. The flu mutates. That
Yep.
works better in this column. And Patrick added capable of getting worse. Yes, it is. All right. And oh, sorry guys. Didn't mean to do that. Ah. Oh, darn it. It didn't save my work. That's all right. I can do it again really quickly. Um, so what I'm going to ask of you guys, as long as you're not, afraid to do this or whatever, is to turn on your microphones and to say it out loud because it's kind of hard for me to be reading the chat and typing at the same time. It's a multitasking skill that is driving me crazy right now. So if you can just go ahead and turn on your microphones and say whatever you wanted to say.
It starts from wild animals and then goes to farm animals and then gets to us.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
Miss Bruns?
Yep.
The flu viruses are among the most capable or the most changeable of all viruses.
Okay. Good. Anything else from that particular chapter that we need to make sure that we include? Maybe not. I mean, these are short little chapters. And remember, when we're writing a summary, we're only going to be writing probably a paragraph. So we don't want to have too much or we're going to end up rewriting the book. So that's good. Okay, let's go on to the chapter on preventing the virus from taking over. What were some important details from that chapter?
Wash your hands frequently and keep your fingers out of your mouth.
Good.
Eat, drink, and sleep a lot.
Perfect. Okay. Preventing the virus. So what else do we know about that can help prevent the virus?
Don't get near like sick people.
Sure. And what about that word that starts with a V?
Get vaccines.
Okay, vaccines. Perfect. All right, so that's really the important stuff from that particular chapter. Let's move on to treating the flu. If you do end up getting the flu, what are some ways to treat the flu?
Drinking plenty of fluids.
Yep. Get rest. Anything else that would help if you actually end up getting the flu? Drink fluids, make sure that you rest. The picture, that very first picture, it's kind of funny looking, but it had, a picture of a blanket and an ice pack. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do other than kind of wait it out. Because it's a virus. And what do we know about viruses? Go ahead, Jaden. Yep.
You drink hot tea.
Oh, okay. We had another suggestion. Yes. But we know that viruses cannot be cured. So unlike a bacterial infection, like let me give you an example of a bacterial infection, strep throat, for instance. You can take antibiotics and get better, but it won't help with a virus. Sorry. History of the flu. Okay, let's do a little important details from the chapter History of the Flu. Okay, remember to speak up.
There are some outbreaks that are just mild, and others are extreme, killing a lot of people.
Okay.
Scientists have evidence suggesting that the flu epidemics date back hundreds and possibly thousands of years.
Good. Yep. Perfect. And okay. And I have in the chat a couple people are typing the names of certain flus that have come up in the past. Um, when you're doing a summary, I'm not sure that you would go as far as to name all of the different epidemics. I think that you would be a little bit more general in a summary and just talk about that there have been severe epidemics, killing up to, I think it was what, that one Spanish flu was up to 40 million people. Okay. All right. And the conclusion section from this book actually kind of covers all of these things. But did anybody find anything in the conclusion that they'd like to make sure that we don't forget?
Both of these strains of the flu began in regions of China and spread to other countries.
Okay, so maybe we can say China seems to be a place where the flu starts a lot,
Mm-hmm.
where the flu often originates. That sounds better. Often originates. Good. All right. And then the rest of the conclusion kind of just resaid everything that we've just typed.
The flu may never be wiped out.
Oh, that's good. That was another one that is a nice, that would actually make a nice conclusion sentence. Ah! My hands are cold, so it's kind of hard to type. Okay. So here we go. We have our important details from each one of those that we saw in the table of contents, really. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write a summary. It should be pretty easy using all of these things that we've just written down. And until I start deleting some of these other boxes, this box is going to look kind of small and funny. But don't worry, at the end, I'll spread it out and you'll be able to see the whole thing. So don't worry. Okay. First things first, before I use any of my details, what do I need to start a good paragraph?
A plan.
Yeah, you can make a plan, which we've kind of just done. Actually, this is our plan, what we're looking at, all the typing in blue. Remember, a good paragraph is like a hamburger. You have your top bun, which is your introduction sentence. You have your middle sentences, which is the meat. Here is your meat. It's all in blue right now. And then you have your conclusion sentence, which is your bottom bun. Okay? So does anybody, go ahead, Jaden, do you have a introduction sentence to maybe hook us?
Oh, because I was gonna say something about how to start a paragraph
Oh,
and an introduction paragraph.
well, yeah, an introduction paragraph if you're going to write more than one, but we're just going to write one paragraph. So we need an introduction sentence, something to catch the reader's attention, but not giving away details yet. So how about something like this? Influenza, dot, dot, dot. The nasty virus that can wreck a body. Huh. What do you guys think? Is that kind of catchy? Does that hook you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm open to suggestions. If anybody has something that they would like to change. Jaden has a sword, apparently. Okay, so it sounds like we're happy with our introduction sentence. Let's move on to our first detail. Our first detail is that the virus spreads quickly. Who would like to verbalize or type into the chat, if you must, um, a sentence about the virus spreading quickly?
The virus can spread from one person to another very quickly.
Perfect. That's perfect. And remember, at the end, you'll be able to see this paragraph a lot easier. I'll be able to spread it out. Okay, I just deleted that particular detail because we've used it. If you were doing this, with a paper and pencil, I would cross it out because you've used it. So time to move on to our next one. The flu mutates, and then it also starts with farm animals and then spreads to humans. Anybody want to give me a sentence with those details? The flu virus mutates quickly and
Starts with animals and ends up in humans.
okay. See, guys, this isn't so hard. We're just looking at every one of our details and making them into a sentence. All right. Our next set of details: wash your hands frequently and keep your hands out of your mouth to prevent getting it. Eat, drink, and sleep enough. And then, of course, stay away from sick people. So this might be two sentences because it's kind of a lot. Anybody want to start off?
To prevent the flu, make sure that you are frequently washing your hands and keeping them out of your mouth. Eat, drink, sleep, and stay away from sick people.
Perfect. Let me try to catch up here. Washing your hands and keep them out of your mouth. And then your second sentence was also, comma, make sure you eat, drink, and sleep enough and stay away from sick people. If you can. I mean, obviously, sometimes you can't, like healthcare workers, for instance. They're exposed to germs quite a bit. All right. So now we are on to, well, if you end up not being able to prevent the flu and you do get it, what do you need to do? Who would like to make a sentence about that? Okay, go ahead, Jaden.
Um, uh, drink lots of healthy fluids like OJ. Uh, get lots of rest. Don't go to school a lot when you're sick. Like, go to school, yes, but don't go a whole lot.
Yes, okay. Well, that's part of getting rest, I would say. And that's probably
And drinking hot tea. I'm drinking peppermint tea.
okay. All right, we'll throw that in just for you. I did add this little part at the very beginning of your sentence, Jaden. If you do get the flu, comma, drink lots of healthy fluids, get rest, and drink tea. Okay, I'll leave that in just for you. All right, moving on to our next set of details. The flu epidemic dates back thousands of years. There have been severe epidemics killing up to 20 million people. We could probably combine these into one sentence. Anybody want to give it a shot?
The flu has had epidemic dates back through hundreds of years ago.
Let's reword that just a little. That sounds a little awkward. The flu, how about we just say the flu virus dates back thousands of years. Sorry. And has been severe at times, or and has been severe and killed a lot of people. Let's see. At times, comma, killing millions of people. Right. Okay. All right. I think we sufficiently used that detail. Now, our last detail is China seems to be the place where the flu originates often, and the flu may never be wiped out. Here's what I'm going to teach you guys about writing a summary. Just like that very specific drinking tea, like that's very specific. That's telling somebody exactly what to drink. Naming a country where it often originates is also a pretty specific detail. When you're writing a summary, I would leave that out, actually. I would just include the flu may never be wiped out. That's much more general and it's much more a paragraph long summary format. Okay. The flu may never be wiped out. All right, let's end it. Remember, we need our conclusion now. So I'm going to tack it on to the rest of this sentence. The flu may never be wiped out, comma, but how about something like humans?
We can prevent it?
Yes, that's good. But we can prevent it. Prevent and deal with it. I don't know. And manage. How about that? Yeah, manage this. What's another word for nasty? Because I don't want to use nasty again. Remember, I used the word nasty in the introduction sentence. So the flu may never be wiped
Disgusting.
out. Okay, good. Disgusting virus. All right, let me spread this thing out so that we can see it a little bit better.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been talking these minutes for no reason.
That's okay. All right, here we go. Do I have a volunteer to read our... Oh, icky is a good one too, Clara. I could add that. We could have more than one adjective, right? Do I have a volunteer to read our beautifully constructed paragraph summary? Oh, aren't you guys sick of hearing my voice? Nobody wants to read it?
I will.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, because I was going to read it.
Influenza, the nasty virus that can wreck a body. This virus can spread from one person to another very quickly. The flu virus mutates quickly and starts with animals but moves to humans. To prevent the flu, make sure you're frequently washing your hands and keeping them out of your mouth. Also, make sure you eat and sleep enough and stay away from sick people. If you do get the flu, drink lots of healthy fluids, get rest, and drink tea. The flu virus dates back thousands of years and has been severe at times, killing millions of people. The flu may never be wiped out, but we can prevent and manage this disgusting, icky virus.
Beautiful. That sounded really good. I only noticed maybe a couple things that I would change. I used the adverb quickly twice. We could probably change that. So the flu virus mutates. How about I say often? Because it, like yearly. is pretty often. So the flu virus mutates often and starts with animals but moves to humans. Perfect. That sounds a little bit better than using quickly again and again. All right. And then, did anybody think that maybe this detail about drinking tea was a little bit too specific for a summary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so too. So watch how much more general it sounds. If you do get the flu, drink lots of healthy fluids and get rest. Yeah, that's a little bit more summary like. Remember, in a summary, we don't want to include every single specific detail, just the overall important stuff. So, how did the table of contents help us write a summary? I think Jaden wants somebody to tell him to turn off his webcam, by the way. Good job, Patrick. Patrick just typed into the chat like, Jaden, come on, buddy. All right.
Jaden.
Perfect. Good. So, Jaden, maybe one of our classmates can tell you which one of the rules you're kind of not respecting right now. Ooh,
The
Corbin
one
said, Jaden, maybe you can do that
not
another time. Good.
Baseball.
Good. And I just got a message from Corbin Corbin Campbell in the chat saying he's not being responsible. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for playing along, everybody, with our little role play there with Jaden. And
And
good.
I saw Patrick type into the chat face palm.
Yeah, face palm. So that basically means he put his palm up to his face like, oh goodness.
Like this.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, guys. So you did an excellent job today of course, going back to your knowledge survey and then helping me do a main idea chart and writing a really good summary. Remember, if you'd like a little bit more on main ideas, you can watch these two videos that have been linked to the agenda. So, couple reminders for everybody. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, so there are no virtual classrooms. You can get a head start on your work. It doesn't mean that you can't log into school and get started. In fact, I would get started just so that you make sure you don't fall behind. But there will not be a virtual classroom. So I will not see you again for 1 week. So I will see you on the 23rd. Okay? All right, my little quiet bunch. I'm going to have Charlie stay with me so that I can just kind of show him a little bit more about his classes, but everybody else is free to go.
Bye.
Good. Bye. Bye, Clara. And I'm so glad. Yes, I just got your private message. Bye.